me down again.
We've arrived. Where in the world is DNL? Welcome to Minneapolis. Let's take a look. We're here in Minneapolis, and today we want to settle one of the oldest rivalries, one of the oldest debates in the Midwest. Who started and has the best Juicy Lucy? We're going to get this started at Matt's Bar. The sign says it all. You can't lie with the sign, right? Home of the original Juicy Lucy. Let's go see what he's got in there.
Camera, you gotta have a Juicy Lucy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll do 3 of them.
Be very careful, okay?
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
Right on. That's good. So just threw down our first Juicy Lucy, man. It was worth the hype. Great spot, great people, great atmosphere in there at Matt's. Let's go. We're in a place with over 10,000, that's lakes, over 40 unique sculptures, including a spoon with a cherry on it. Where in the world is DNL? Welcome to the Sculpture Garden in Minneapolis. Now let's go catch a duck. We're thrilled to have Rich Bracken here today. Rich, you and I know each other. We've known each other for years. And it's been really exciting to watch your career blossom.
I appreciate it.
But who is Rich Bracken?
You know, the good thing about me is that I have an oversized head because I wear a lot of hats. But, you know, I'm a marketing executive, so I work for a software company here in town, but predominantly I do a lot of public speaking. I'm a keynote speaker. I travel all over the country and speak all over the world on emotional intelligence, leadership, competitive differentiation. But I also have a podcast. I'm a television personality, so I do a lot of different things. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a Minnesotan now, so a lot of different hats. You know, I'm the kind of person that just wants people to be at their best.
And one of the things we talked about when we met was, this concept of a blend between performance optimization and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
What is emotional intelligence?
Sure. I always go to what I call the core 4, mostly because I can't usually count higher than 5, so I keep it really simple. The core 4 of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, so what are your emotions, what are you feeling, what are you sensing? Self-management, what are you doing with those emotions? So, I mean, we all know a hothead, and chances are if you don't know a hothead, you may be the one, but it's those people that understand and can manage the reaction to their emotions. And then on the social side of things, you've got social awareness, which is understanding, reading body language, listening to tone, engaging in communication. And then all of that wrapped into one is a relationship management, which rounds out the core 4. Okay. So it's how you're navigating your emotions, your feelings, your goals with that of other people. So when it comes to competitive differentiation, leadership, emotional intelligence is one of the key factors. People call it a soft skill, but it is an absolute critical skill in success.
For someone that's an entrepreneur, like a lot of the viewers who are watching today, how can someone take emotional intelligence, that concept, and employ it into their everyday life to better perform, whether it be at work or at home or elsewhere?
But when I work with executives or salespeople or entrepreneurs, you know, the number one thing I hear about is time. They don't have time, or they're under a lot of stress on deadlines and things like that. So emotional intelligence helps you understand how to manage your stress in those situations, how to manage anxiety, because, you know, all of those people under those descriptors are under a lot of stress. They have to manage timelines. They have to manage teams. They're maybe solopreneurs where they're out, you know, it's them out in the vastness of trying to be successful. So it's understanding that you're going to have bad days, that you're going to have struggles, that you're going to hear no. How you manage those emotions is critical to how you carry forward your success levels. Now, you know, when it comes to people that have poor, what I'll call time management,
right,
they are really helped by emotional intelligence because a lot of people will say, well, I don't have time, and which gives up the control over time.
Right.
But if you say, hey, I'm managing my time, I'm controlling my time
that
better.
back.
Exactly. I mean, and I will also, I always tell people, if you don't think you have time, do a life audit. Go through your entire day, write down every single bit of time you spend on activities. I guarantee you, and it doesn't matter if you're walking to get a glass of water, write down that time. Everything that you do in a day takes up some time, and if you prioritize something enough, you'll find the time to do it, and it's just a matter of sacrificing certain things.
Right. One of the things that I loved when we talked was you used this phrase, become unstoppable.
Yes.
I'm curious, how do I become unstoppable? And can I become unstoppable?
Yes.
I like to think I can, and I like to think our viewers can.
Right.
But tell me what that means to you and how I can become unstoppable.
Becoming unstoppable to me is not that you're gonna come out and win every single time and that nobody's ever gonna be able to slow you down. That's not part of it. Becoming unstoppable is meaning that, like the literal definition of not stopping. So you're going to fail, you're going to have, you're gonna have these trip ups in your life, whether it's personal or professional, but it's keeping coming back. When I give this presentation, I have a picture of a set of waves on the cover of the presentation because waves are unstoppable.
Yep.
They keep coming at you. They're never gonna stop. You're never gonna be able to stop them. So while the first one may pass, you have to keep going. And with emotional intelligence, you understand when you're managing your emotions, when you're understanding what your triggers are, what's gonna make you upset, what's gonna slow you down. If you manage those correctly, you can become unstoppable because you can become more relentless, you can become more obsessive with the success. You dive into the passion of what you're trying to do, which is a key thing. Because if you think about the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, if you identify the things that you're passionate about, you will find the time to do them. You will find the drive to do them. You will find the energy to make it happen. And that's what becoming unstoppable is all about.
Absolutely.
So it's really tuning into yourself.
All right, so Rich, in your career, in your experiences, I'm quite certain you work with some very successful folks.
Yes.
Whether in the business space or otherwise, but specifically in the business space, successful people, I'm guessing, share some traits or characteristics that are similar.
Sure.
Now, they're not all the same, no successful person here is gonna look exactly the same as over here.
Right.
But I'm guessing they have traits that are very similar. Do you agree? And if so, tell me about what some of those traits are from your perspective.
Sure. I think success starts with emotional intelligence. 90% of high performers have a high emotional intelligence. So I will say that is the number one factor between those that are true high performers and long-term high performers than even short-term success stories. And so emotional intelligence is one of them. If you think about people that are not afraid of defeat, but they come back stronger. They're responding off of the trigger of defeat, and they're being better the next time they go out. Things like relentlessness. If you think about the top competitor that comes to mind when you think about true competition, you've got people like Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Muhammad Ali. Like they had a relentless perfectionism about their practice, about their training, about their performance. They were all over it. That was their world. And that separates people because there are some people that will be relentless in spurts.
Yep.
But when they do it on the long haul, that's where the long-term sustainable success comes.
Can you teach yourself how to be relentless, or are you born with it?
I think you could teach yourself.
Okay.
I mean, I think there are those people that have that natural fiber within them to want to compete and be relentless and really be the best that they could possibly be. Now, I will say that I wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
I will be the first to admit it. Like, I wasn't always relentless.
And what changed?
I decided I understood what my passions were in life.
Okay.
My passions of helping people, my passions of taking the gift of public speaking and doing whatever I could with it because it was a gift that I was given, and that if I sat on it, it would be me being lazy.
Right.
The fact that there are people in the world that are doing the wrong things, and I want to do the right things. So when you find that passion, that's another differentiator with high performers and leaders, is that they're passionate about what they do. They don't worry about, success will come.
Right.
They want to do what's right for right's sake, or they want to do what's passionate to them, and that success follows.
Is visualization real? What's the impact? What's the benefit? And can it help me perform better? And I guess, what is it?
Visualization is really sitting in a mental picture of what you want to have happen. You know, when you think about starting your day, and what I mentioned earlier, like picturing how you want your day to unfold. If you visualize going to work in a good mood, having a really good team meeting, calling up your favorite client, calling your least favorite client, what do you want that to look like in your mind? You know, I ran the New York City Marathon years ago, and I really bought into visualization there, because when I started my training, I started in February, and the race wasn't until November, so I had a long training schedule to get it done. But every single day that I ran, I visualized crossing the finish line. I had a very clear picture in my mind, crossing the finish line, holding my phone in my hand so my sons could see me on FaceTime to see their dad crossing the finish line of the New York City Marathon. And that visualization, that picture in my mind got me through every training run, every workout, every pain, every ouch, every soreness.
Right. So I love that story of the New York City Marathon. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, visualization takes a conscious choice to, engage, to take that task of, I'm going to visualize before I endeavor on this, or what have you. Is it something that everybody can do? And can I employ it in my life without taking a ton of time?
Absolutely. You know, it's a situation where I have converted more what I'll call strong-minded people that weren't open to visualization, and I use meditation as a perfect vehicle for that. If you take 5 minutes in the morning, close your eyes, picture in your mind what you want the day to look like. How do you want it to unfold? How do you want to feel? What kind of impact do you want to have? When you picture that in your mind, you go forth trying to live out that example, or trying to live out that image in your mind, and it's a lot easier to figure that out. But even 5 minutes in the morning makes all the difference in the world.
I'm pretty fired up. That's great. That's great feedback. Rich, this has been a great day.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about emotional intelligence, performance optimization. You've given us some really good feedback. If our viewers want to learn more about you, want to learn more about some of the things we talked about, emotional intelligence, success, how can they find you? How can they find your media?
Yeah, you can find everything on richbracken.com. I've got all my television appearances, a bunch of my content on there, my blog, my podcast, but everything is on richbracken.com.
Okay. Again, thanks so much for coming out to the Sculpture Garden with us. We'll make sure to drop that link in the description, richbracken.com. Thanks a lot, Rich.
Appreciate it, man.
So we discovered something amazing in Minneapolis. It's called the Juicy Lucy. It's a burger with cheese cooked in the middle. We already tried Matt's. This is the second stop of this great debate, this great rivalry. We're at the 5-8 Club. We're gonna go taste their Juicy Lucy and see who's best.
For our 80th anniversary, we had a historian, and she discovered that Adrian's was one of the first people in South Minneapolis to have a Juicy.
Oh.
But it just never got between all three of us. So.
But this is the best. Thrilled right now. Oh, yeah. Poor guy, Josh. Here we go. There you go. Oh, yeah. That's amazing. So I've been asked to choose best Juicy Lucy in Minneapolis. Actually, best Juicy Lucy in all the land. So you got Matt's, the classic OG burger. Tasty, delicious, amazing. Maybe the first. You've got the 5-8 Club. Lots of options at the 5-8 Club. If you're feeling frisky, you can get some onions in there. You can get some blue cheese. I gotta go with Matt's. Delicious, tasty burger. Tasted like one off my own grill, but just made a little bit better. So good. Thanks so much. What a day. Got to settle the debate on the Juicy Lucy, meet with some amazing subject matter experts. Got to see some cool cultural sites in downtown Minneapolis. Great trip. What a stay.